that we are at a tie match at the top. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They do have to be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Dead Hard could get them the distance to get it too. Shot.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are gonna teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab! Yes!
Oh my god!
That is disappointing.
This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's Giltspire here, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are here today for qualifier number 6, round number 1, and we got Torment versus Repentance. Really excited to say this, as it is going to be a Deathslinger mirror match on the Wrecker's Yard. And we are going to be kicking things off with Repentance's Deathslinger against Torment's Survivor team. We're starting things off here on the outskirts of the map, as we do see Corrupt Intervention slowing things down just a little. Deathslinger, though, taking a quick break to check something, maybe check their gun, make sure it's in rootin' tootin' shootin' cowboy condition, as we do see a Survivor cross their path, but a lack of scratch marks, forcing the Deathslinger to drop potential chase. Though they have found the Kate here on the shack, though with a gen in there, gonna make things a little bit dicey to chase a Survivor with the Deathslinger. So Deathslinger instead going to be checking out these active gens, but so far no sign of any other Survivors, though there are scratch marks there on the right, but Deathslinger not looking to pursue. Instead, going to take their time to try and shoot through the window there, but no shot thus far. Deathslinger being very patient here, not wanting to take random pot shots, and there's the first victim, but Claudette doing a fantastic job of dodging. We also see Jeff here a little bit boxed out. Deathslinger taking some ADS, but with that ADS time, will end up missing the shot on Jeff. Things looking a little bit grim here early on for Deathslinger, as these Survivors are going to be cranking out these gens, but a swing and a hit on the Jeff Coda. And looks like we are off to the races here for the first potential down. We do see a Survivor there in the distance looking to potential take a body block, but we see that there's no sign of Jeff. Very likely a lucky break, as they are all but disappeared into the distance. Scratch marks once again over in shack, most likely the Kate that we saw earlier. However, they are leaving very early. And we do see Claudette here, who will get that palace stun, and looks like a potential sprint away from that stun as well. So looks like they will once again get away. Deathslinger here seeing a noise notification here on the gen. Not a missed skill check, but very likely a Colubrine noise notification, informing Deathslinger of the impending gen pop that is to come. So far, just really no pressure here from the Deathslinger outside of that one chase of Jeff. Here we do see another hit, though, on the K, and it looks like they are going to go for the purposeful break, as we do see that Bayshore Cigar on their add-on list. Trying to make the most of it, as Kate will move further into a resource-dense area, which might cause the Deathslinger here a little bit of time loss, as they're trying to mind game here at this pallet, as the first gen does pop off, resulting in a 2-point lead so far for Torment's Survivor team. One thing to keep in mind about the Deathslinger that a lot of people tend to forget about: when the Deathslinger ADSs at a Survivor, the Survivor will hear a noise notification informing them that the Redeemer is aimed directly at them. And so we see a lot of these Survivors move around just in a nick of time. But looks like Kate here will take the first hook of this match, as we do see the second gen popping off here. Things tied up a little bit, 4-3 in favor of the survivors thus far. But these gens have been flying, to say the least, and I would be a little bit worried if I was the Deathslinger. Especially as this hook here, though nearby a few gens, kind of a pseudo 3-gen if you really want to be generous. There isn't a lot otherwise. That gen that was done there on the right would have been a much better protection target if we're really looking at things here than Shaq would be, where, as we saw, Survivor has so much line of sight blockers. We also see another gen popping off in the distance there. Looks like Deathslinger is determined to get this progression to second stage, but by doing so, they might in fact just kind of lose the match here. You know, not to call it early, but a 1K 3 hook probably is not going to be as great results in the grand scheme of things as they probably want. But we will see that progression, and they will move out to try and see where these survivors might be. At the moment in time, we kind of have like a 2-1-1 split for these last 4 gens. So it's going to be really difficult for the Deathslinger to do much of anything. One thing that I would definitely say that the Deathslinger here is maybe doing a little bit differently than we have seen prior is they're taking a lot of time to ADS, but then not fire or not hold their ADS. Yes, you move a little bit slower while aiming down sights with the Redeemer, but it's sometimes worth it to box those survivors out. But a really good snapshot there by the Deathslinger on the Jeff, and a good break to boot. And the beautiful thing about that Bayshore cigar is that will secure them the down at the window, as Jeff ran in towards the Deathslinger instead of away. But now having to be a little bit concerned here about this pallet, as Claudette does come in, and a little bit of a miss there by the Deathslinger. They need to harass this Claudette as soon as possible, really slow things down if possible. Deathslinger aiming down sights, Claudette doing some fancy moves to take a dodge, but looks like they will in fact get the hit. Going back to Jeff now. There is a Jake trying to do their best to stop the Deathslinger from getting his pickup. Deathslinger going in though. Is there someone behind them? There was the Claudette, but they were not able to get there in time without risking taking a down. Agitation, as we see a very speedy Deathslinger will in fact get them to the hook. And that there will be Jeff's first hook of the match. Things could turn the tides here shortly if the Deathslinger plays this and plays it well. The biggest thing to keep in mind here is that the gens aren't finished just yet, that they've had plenty of time to work on them. If I'm the Deathslinger here, I think the biggest thing that I'd focus in on is not progressing to second stage, but really focusing in on survivors who have yet to be hooked. So Kate, Jake, sorry, not Kate, but Claudette and Jake would be fantastic examples. Kate, though, is on Death Hook, so a really good find there if they are able to get this down quickly. But that's the key in all of this. If they can get that down quickly before this next gen pops off, that would be the difference to it all. But Kate taking their time here on this pallet will vault back and vault again. Deathslinger just not willing to take the shot here, but they will get the down nonetheless on Zynox the Kate. However, there is an adrenaline off the ground, as well as a no-ed from the Deathslinger. The best thing they can do here is find the Jake, find the Claudette, get that hook, and some extra points to boot. We'll have to wait and see if they do have the capability, as they are looking around, do find scratch marks, no blood, so could be one of the ones they're looking for, and in fact it is with the Jake. If they're able to get this down and get it down quickly, secure the 3 stages down in basement, that would be huge here for the Deathslinger. However, Pallet's still down at Shack, giving the Jake a ton of extra distance. And with a life to boot, it looks like they will get out. However, these survivors might not be aware of the existence of a Noed, and so the Deathslinger will take Jeff with them, as Noed will be procced, and that there will be a 3-man out, it would seem. So Jeff will take their second hook, as well as a progression, as everyone else will in fact escape. So GG, well played by both sides, and things were looking grim there for a while for the Deathslinger here, but they were able to bring it back in the end, as we have a 15 to 11 point difference. 15 for Torment Survivor Team, 11 for Deathslinger. Realistically speaking, what Torment is going to need as far as the win condition is concerned is going to be a 2K in order to secure victory. Honestly, not insurmountable odds, definitely not out the realm possibility though for Repentance's survivors to do a fantastic show and show exactly what Torment's Deathslinger they are able to do. But with that being said, we are going to get this next lobby set up and jump into trial number 2, this time with Torment as the Deathslinger versus Repentance Survivor Team. With that being said, before we do switch that and go on a quick break, we do want to remind everyone here today that you, yes, you the viewers, are our sponsors, so that as they watch all the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy you buy using the code COTF, goes to supporting Champions of the Fog and our Group A and Group B prize pools. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit. right, and we are back with trial number 2 of round number 1 of qualifier number 6, Repentance versus Torment, and we are going to be seeing Torment's Deathslinger versus Repentance's Survivor team on the Wrecker's Yard. As we mentioned earlier, the win condition here for Torment is going to be a 2K, though there are a lot of ways to get 12 points. More specifically, they could just go for fresh hooks on every single survivor and get the 12 points that they need. However, those escape points from those survivors might balance things out, so they're going to be a little bit careful lest they lose on nearly a point or two. With that being said, we do see a survivor out here in the distance. Looks like a Feng Min the Deathslinger has found, and they are going to be moving towards a little bit of a barren area as there's not as much in regards to resources back here. And a very quick snapshot here from Zynox the Deathslinger, and once again we are seeing that Bayshore cigar coming in handy as it will reduce the amount of time in which they fatigue. Feng kind of having to be very careful here as they will masterfully dodge a shot from the Redeemer as our friend, I believe that is either Ace or Tap. That is Tap taking a body block here for the Feng Min, pre-dropping the Shack Pal quite early, and I imagine the Deathslinger here will greedily take that, as that now means there are 2 survivors off of Gens, finding the Ace as well as the third. And we'll see if they are able to get a shot off here as the Ace does pre-chop a pallet once again, potentially for a light play to get away. But they did not go far as the Deathslinger taking a bit of a cheeky shot here will not connect, and they will drop the chase, instead going for the Nia, who will dodge that Redeemer shot right there and move into the corner of the map. Unfortunately for them, there's only but 1 pallet around here, and Nia, getting a little bit faked out, will in fact take a hit before the pallet. Nia not getting a lot of distance here. Deathslinger taking a look around, but looks like Nia actually going to keep themselves in this tile here. A dangerous play for sure, but I'm sure we're going to see that pallet drop. No! Playing very cheekily. Instead, going around on the inside, but this means after the break here, these survivors have little to nothing here to protect them, especially with this hill. The Deathslinger can just simply walk this in, and so they shall, as they will get the first down of the match here on Nia. So really good start here by the survivors and Killer alike. Honestly, Deathslinger doing a great job of slowing things down, but not slow enough as we do see that first gen popping off and a deadlock being shut off right there as the most progressed gen is blocked by the entity. But that there will be the first hook on Nia, moving that much closer to being sent back to the campfire via the entity. And looks like Deathslinger just going to kind of hang around here for but a moment, especially with that gen as progressed as it is. Would make a lot of sense to just kind of sit here at the hook, especially once deadlock ends, being able to take it, regress it by 2.5% in addition to a 0.3% per second thereafter, while you're camping Nia for the next 30 seconds minimum. I mean, that seems like the best play in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see what the Deathslinger here has in store for us as they do find a survivor there on the hill. Looks like they were pushed off just a little bit, but Deathslinger not going to pursue them. Instead, just going to watch this gen regress as the Nia does progress the second stage. And looks like Torment currently in position for a potential 1K, especially if they go for the tunnel out. However, Ace coming in as well as the Feng Min. Ace with the hit. Feng Min with the unhook in time. No progression to second stage here for the Nia. And it looks like they will be going for Feng Min. Once again, keep in mind they only need 12 points. Meaning that if the Feng Min does go down, that is going to mean that they only need 6 points thereafter, but looks like we have the Nia taking the body block and instead wanting to give the Deathslinger a second stage instead of a fresh hook on the Feng Min. And looks like that will happen as there is no decisive strike against the Deathslinger here today, and they're going to go for a little bit more of a central hook as these survivors pop off their second gen of this match. So far, both sides doing a fantastic job, kind of this back and forth cat and mouse gameplay, but Feng Min taking the stun on the Slinger and running away. probably trying to stay nearby in case they are able to prep themselves for this hook. But looks like Deathslinger once again in a prime location, as the hook and the most progressed gen are right next to one another, meaning that they can really just hang out here and once again watch that gen regress for upwards of 30 seconds. So that's going to be 2.5% plus 9 seconds. Probably could do the quick math on a 2.5, roughly what, 1.8. So I mean, it's about 10 seconds off the gen if they are unable to come in here and at least gen tap that. But looks like we have both the ace, the tap, and the Fangman all here for the unhook on the Nia. The question is whether or not they're going to be able to set it up, and looks like they will in fact be able to do so. These survivors actually doing really well here, as we do see that third gen popping off, and the Nia taking the BT hit at the window, probably just in time. Once again, deadlock activating there on that hill gen, meaning that it is no longer regressing as it was prior. Tap injured. Only healthy survivor at this time is the Fang Min. And things are looking a bit dicey here for the Slinger if these survivors are able to get these last two generators before even a kill happens on the board. Honestly, Repetitive Survivor team doing a fantastic job, as we do see the Fangman going to break the chain, but Deathslinger is still able to get the hit in, and Tap kind of boxed out here, but it looks like they are going to go for the Fangman instead, as they're going to push him in towards these active gens. But Fangman, without a lot of resources at hand, will be forced to pre-drop again and again, as they fear the Deathslinger and their trusty Redeemer. But Deathslinger unable to get the shot there, as Fangman will continue to loop them at this tile. Fangman being pushed off though, and trying to find another bit of resource, but unable to find much of anything, as Tap will do a head-on with a flashbang to boot, buying the Fangman just a little bit more time. Fantastic play there by these survivors in a very coordinated effort to keep the Fangman up. Unfortunately, Deathslinger coming in with the Redeemer shot will connect this time round, as the Fangman will go down. However, Deathslinger here are going to have to be a bit careful, as that chase may have bought these survivors just enough time to finish these last two gens. And if that is the case, they are in striking distance of claiming the W here in round number 1. As we do see that 4th gen popping off, one more to go. And if they are able to get an escape at this point in time, that might be it. However, looking at the score right now, if in the instance Fangman were to progress to death right now, that would be 11 points in favor of the Slinger. And the same number of escape points here for the survivors, I do believe, meaning they are going to need to ensure that they escape as is, or are able to unhook the Fangman, as the Deathslinger very likely is going to end up hooking the Tap here, and we will see that 5th gen popping off. Tap is going to have to face the wrath of Noed, maybe not by that exposed status effect, but by the haste nonetheless. And looks like Deathslinger once again in a really good position here, as they have a hook directly next to a exit gate, but looks like they are going to be dragged them further in towards the shack, as we see Noah up there on the hill. Honestly, these survivors need to not even go for Noah. They need to get out of dodge as quickly as possible, for if they do not, they are going to be in a world of hurt. That being said though, looking at the score, it is already 11-10. In the instance that we see the remaining survivors escape via the exit gate, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. I think it would be very, very close, as a death here would net the Deathslinger an additional 3 points, moving up to 14 above the win condition we were stating earlier of 11. If the survivors get anywhere less than 15 points here on the escape, things are going to be in a bit of trouble. Deathslinger going to be pushing the Fangman off, and it looks like no balanced landing from the Fangman. I'm not sure what the decision making is there, or knowing that they are unable to get the unhook, as we do see the Fangman take the hook in lieu of the tap, giving the Deathslinger another 2 points here, moving up to 13 points total. It's going to be a close one, folks. Even if they were to get the 3-minute escape here, which I think is probably the best case scenario, I'm not sure if it is going to matter, because Fangman here is still going to give an additional 3 points. Same thing as Tap in the instance they were to escape earlier. And sure enough, there is the bleed out and the final escape points coming in. We are looking to 16 to 14, and it is a 2-point difference in favor of Torment, with 29 to Repentance's 27 points. So Torment, sorry about that. My small kitten decided to cause some ruckus knocking over my tea thermos. With that being said, Torment taking the W here today in round number 1. A really, really close match and well played by both sides. With that being said, guys, we are going to be moving into round number 2 here shortly. But before we do, we are going to go on a quick break as the rest of the matches do wrap up. And with that being said, I do want to remind everyone here today that we are partnered with Pugdom. Pugdom is a Dead by Daylight competitive community very similar to Champs of the Fog. In fact, they are going to be hosting the entirety of Group B over on their channel. So definitely make sure to stop on by, say hi, drop them a follow as well so you don't miss a single second of Champs of the Fog Season 6. With that being said, guys, we'll be back in just a bit.